Okay. Continuing, I was only going to try and do this in one video, but obviously, I'll do a few videos, and hopefully somebody out there is going to see this and get something out of it. The truth. How do you... Okay, this is what I want to do. Give you practical assistance in actually pursuing absolute truth. And I'll just try and explain what I've gone through and give some tips on how to do this. Because actually what we're doing here is unlocking the mysteries of existence, unlocking the mysteries of life and reality without having to go through the initiation process of a secret society or a mystery school. That time is over. The age of enlightenment is here. And there was an announcement made that basically said it is time to now release this information and the secrets that have been kept for so long. And the reason why this was done, it's all based on a timeline. Go ahead, just do it. It's fine. There you go. Excuse you. It's all based on a timeline. That there is a natural progression having to do with the evolution of human consciousness, and we're on a timeline. It's preordained, pre-planned. It's directly related to the Mayan calendar. And you can see it unfolding if you can look at the big picture. Step back and look at the big picture of existence and to see the world symbolically. Okay? Now, the whole thing about mystery schools and mystery religions and secret societies and that stuff, it's all about symbolism. That's what their, Baphomet for the Freemasons and all the artwork of the ancient secret societies and stuff took imagery where they encoded secret information into these images to preserve it. It's all about symbolism. How do you unlock the symbolism? How do you understand it? That's a good question, because actually it's taken me years of studying all kinds of different sources, all kinds of different books, astrology, religion, philosophy, quantum physics, all that stuff, because everything ties in together. There's a common thread through all of it. And in fact, like religion, all the world's religions can be tied together. There's a common thread. A great book, Foucault's Pendulum by Umberto Eco, ties together all the world's religions. It's brilliant, it's amazing, it's incredible. But beyond that, there's another way you can tie it all together. That's not for this series. I'm not going to talk about that. But I mean, the nature of reality is this: is everything is interrelated. And so once you can step back and see that there is a purpose behind that existence, that there's a reason we're here, that there's a reason we're experiencing what we're experiencing, and if you just be quiet for a moment, stop all the chattering in the brain, stop all the thinking, and just exist and be for a moment, you realize that most everything that we experience in the world, or think is going on in the world, or are told is going on in the world, all that stuff kind of quiets down, and it's just you existing as life. And what is that? Well, it's basically your breath, your breathing. and it's a great thing. I mean, there's other sources that have where I've learned a lot about this. There's meditation and yoga. It all focuses on breathing. That's the foundation of it. But what the breath is actually it's you. It's your life force. So if you can actually just stop and breathe, as you're breathing, you find you're not really thinking. The thinking is the mind taking all the information and just, whatever in your head. And it can drive people crazy. And actually the thinking process, I love this. This is a quote from a movie. Believe it or not, Top Gun of all things. There's a statement in there. Tom Cruise, his character, they're talking about how he's in Top Gun school and he's training and he's doing all these crazy moves, and they Kelly McGillis's character says it's a pretty, he did this crazy move and it's a pretty big gamble with a $50 million plane. And he says when you're up there, if you think you're dead, well, that's actually related to mystery school theology, because what it has to do with is the thinking process of the human mind drains you of life force. It once you have become a human being and you've locked into the material world and you are officially a brainwashed entity that is completely controlled by mind consciousness systems, that entity that you become as a human being begins to drain the life force. It feeds off of it, and that's why you age. And so if you think you're dead, the more you think, the quicker you will physically die.
So think about that.
And now think about that, exactly. But here's the thing. I know so many people who don't think very well. So it's like, and you wonder why. How come some of these people who have no common sense live to be 90 or 100 years old? It's because they don't think. Somehow they get through life without killing themselves, but because they don't think and have no common sense, they actually survive longer because their mind consciousness system is not draining their life force. I don't know. I mean, it's just one way of looking at it. So, just to finish up, why don't you grab a chair, sit down, stay a while. Okay. Just to finish this thought, having to do with truth, is that having the perspective of seeing just about anything you think about is going to be processed through some type of mind consciousness system that has been implanted into you as you have become a human being. Because that's not what you are when you first come here. Yes, you're a baby, but guess what? You're a fully expanded conscious, not conscious being. I mean, you're a whatever we are, whatever our life force is what you are. And then as you grow up physically, you are programmed into this system to function as a human being within the system. So, what I'm talking about is discovering absolute truth has to do with backing out of the system and returning back to, and the Bible says, to enter the kingdom of heaven, you must become as a little child. You return back to the simplicity of consciousness without all the conditioning by the system. Simple as that. How do you do that? Well, that's what we're going to talk about. I'll do a video series on self-initiation, but these 3 videos had to do with the nature of truth. Thanks.